IB Bio, Human Physiology Part 4, is the second of 4 parts covering circulation, what's known as the blood system in the IB syllabus. Human Physiology Part 4, Circulation B, this movie, has its focus on the causes and consequences of occlusion of the coronary arteries, specifically coronary heart disease. The essential idea is the blood system continuously transports substances to cells and simultaneously collects waste products. Here is the first of 2 slides that provide an outline of all available movies for Topic 6, Human Physiology for SL and HL students. Use the outline to find the movie you need for review. This movie is focused here. Here is the second slide of the outline for all available movies for Topic 6, Human Physiology. Remember that the circulatory system involves a transport fluid, known as blood, that's moved in vessels by the heart. The blood system links external exchange surfaces with body cells too deep to be well served by diffusion across the skin surface of the body. The heart is the pump of the transport system. The arteries are large vessels that carry blood away from the heart. Veins are large vessels that carry blood back toward the heart. And the capillaries are thin, highly branched structures that serve as the exchange site between the blood and body cells. Body cells everywhere require oxygen and nutrients, and all of those cells must release carbon dioxide. So health problems related to the circulatory system can be serious, especially if the problem is with the vessels that serve the heart muscle or the vessels that serve the brain. Less severe health problems can arise, such as damage to the valves in the veins. These might cause unsightly varicose veins. Other health issues of the circulatory system include osmotic problems, such as fluid loss from the blood to the tissues, as would happen with gout, or edemas that occur due to trauma. The coronary arteries, seen here and here in a resin cast, provide the heart tissue, the heart muscle tissue, with oxygen and nutrients. The coronary arteries arise from small vessels that branch from the aorta shortly after the aorta exits the left ventricle. Problems such as a blockage in the coronary artery puts the functioning of the heart at risk. Here is another image of coronary arteries that run along the external surface of the heart. These are the arteries that provide the heart muscle tissue with oxygen and nutrients. This image nicely shows how the coronary arteries branch off the aorta. Here is another image of the heart, labeling all of the structures on the right side, the right atrium, the right ventricle, as well as the coronary arteries seen here and here. The aorta is shown well as it emerges from the left ventricle, then arches, turning posteriorly to the lower reaches of the body. Here is one more image of the external surface of the heart, with all structures labeled, including the coronary arteries. This is a good image to study. In this micrograph, a dye has been injected into the coronary arteries and the capillaries that serve the heart. The image allows us to see the highly branched nature of the capillaries that serve the heart muscle with oxygen and nutrients. A problem related to the circulatory system is when the coronary arteries become blocked with a calcified fatty substance called plaque, as can be seen here. Here are the relevant IB syllabus statements. Explain the causes and consequences of occlusion of the coronary arteries. Explain the causes and the consequences of blood clot formation in the coronary arteries. In this diagram, we can see the blockage in the coronary artery, preventing cells beyond the block from receiving oxygen and nutrients. These cells die, and a heart attack is initiated. In this diagram, we can see the development of plaque along an artery wall. Here are the red blood cells that are traveling within the artery. Plaque development often starts with a slight injury to the wall, a slight tear, maybe a roughened surface. Macrophages, white blood cells that ingest particles through phagocytosis, begin to clean up the damage, but in so doing cause plaque to develop. Plaque is composed of cholesterol and various fats and calcium, and the wall bulges toward the lumen of the artery, and the artery begins to narrow, begins to occlude, to close. As well, the artery wall is more rigid, less elastic. The rigid, occluded vessel causes blood pressure to increase. The hardening of the arteries, as you can see here, and as I've just described, is called atherosclerosis. Here's an outline of the occlusion of the arteries, also called atherosclerosis. Here's the relevant IB syllabus statement. I'll let you study this slide on your own. In this diagram, you can see the development of the occlusion in the artery. Plaque builds up along the wall, reducing the width of the lumen of the artery. Now, often during plaque development, as can be seen here, the surface of the arterial wall can become roughened, and this can result in a blood clot. The roughened surface would cause platelets to break, releasing clotting factors that initiate the formation of a clot called a thrombus. In this micrograph of the coronary arteries of the heart, we can see a section of a coronary artery that is blocked. A dye has been injected into the blood, and we cannot see blood flowing in this section of the vessel. The occlusion is due to plaque development, and it sets the stage for coronary thrombosis, the formation of a clot that occludes the coronary artery and causes a heart attack. Here are images of coronary arteries with severe occlusion, and here is the relevant IB syllabus statement. Explain the causes and consequences of occlusion of the coronary arteries. This diagram shows the formation of a blood clot in an artery already closing due to plaque development. If the clot, a thrombus, forms in a coronary artery, the condition is known as coronary thrombosis. Coronary thrombosis, where a blood clot severely reduces blood flow in a coronary artery, would cause a heart attack. If the clot formed in vessels of the brain, this would cause a stroke. We'll look at strokes later in this movie. Now remember what results from a blocked vessel. Blood transporting oxygen and nutrients cannot reach the cells that lie beyond the block. They die. And with that comes the potential for a heart attack. So let's put together the relationship between atherosclerosis and coronary thrombosis. Plaque development, known as atherosclerosis, the hardening of the arteries, can initiate the formation of a clot due to the roughened surface around plaque development. The plaque and the clot together will cause coronary arteries to become blocked, occluded. This is coronary thrombosis, and the next event is a heart attack. Thrombosis refers to vessel blockage, while the death of cells beyond the blockage initiates the heart attack, where normal rhythm of the heart can no longer be maintained. The heartbeat is weak or not sustained at all. The clinical name for a heart attack is myocardial infarction. The problems that I've outlined here are progressive and build over time, resulting in coronary heart disease. Of all deaths in the U.S., 35% are due to heart disease. And the cause is insufficient coronary artery blood flow caused by atherosclerosis and thrombosis, a clot, coronary thrombosis in the coronary arteries. The vessels are blocked, cells beyond the blockage die, and a heart attack ensues. The risk factors for coronary thrombosis are age. If you're older, you're more likely to experience coronary thrombosis. Your sex. If you're male, you're more likely to experience coronary thrombosis. Genetics in your family and lifestyle. Those who smoke or who are overweight, experience stress at work at home, have hypertension, this is high blood pressure, or diabetes are more at risk for coronary thrombosis. Here is a solution to coronary artery blockage, seen here and here, and this solution is called a bypass. Vessels taken from the leg or chest are stitched into place to bypass the blockage. Bypass the blockage. In this image, you can see two bypasses. Here is another image of a bypass of a blocked coronary artery. Stents, structures seen here, are also used to open blocked vessels. In the image on the left, we can see a blocked vessel, and here we see that the vessel is allowing blood flow after a stent was inserted. A stroke occurs when blood supply to part of the brain is blocked and brain cells are damaged or die. For your brain to function, it needs a constant blood supply, which provides vital nutrients and oxygen to the brain cells. Brain cells can die, causing permanent damage. A stroke happens when the blood supply to part of the brain is cut off. You can see a clot here blocking blood flow. Without blood reaching them, brain cells become damaged or can die. In this image, the stroke is shown to occur if the carotid artery is blocked or a cerebral artery is blocked. Stroke is the third leading cause of death in the United States. Nearly 3/4 of all strokes occur in people over the age of 65. In this image, we can see a thrombus, a clot, blood clot, forming in the carotid artery due to atherosclerosis in the carotid artery, and the clot dislodges and moves its way to the brain, where it becomes lodged there, resulting in a stroke because it prevents blood flow to regions beyond the blockage. Remember, a stroke happens when the blood supply to part of the brain is cut off. The brain cells are damaged or die. And that brings us to the end of IB Bio, Topic 6, Human Physiology, Part 4, Circulation B. Circulation C will focus on the control of the heartbeat and the cardiac cycle.